lot of creative people who live in this area, not just in Middlebury proper, but in Bristol, Lincoln, all the outlying little towns in the mountains. All kinds of funky folks.
Music has been what has held me to this little town of 8,000 forever.
Everyone involved with the place is very much into the music and wants to see it work and wants to hear the music and hear what we have to say.
None of the players in the group have played in so-called jazz bands prior to this one. We've all done a little bit of freelance work in this kind of music before, but never have we concentrated our efforts in this way before.
You know, that's why it's called so-called jazz, because, you know, we don't play the cliches. We don't play all the stuff that, you know, all the famous jazz people did. And you know, jazz is a little bit different from other kinds of music. It's like, it's a little bit more cerebral. I mean, you have to, there's a lot of improvisation, but yet you have to know some pretty complex chord changes and situations and stuff. And so it is. It's a lot different from other kinds of music. And it's a little bit harder to play because of that.
There's always been a music scene occurring here. There was a bar in town that always did live music. There was always a folk club in town. There was always something occurring here that had to do with music and creativity. That kind of went away for a while. And as far as a public venue, you know, it got static, but people were still always creating music. And the thing that's happened is that Woody's has allowed the live music to occur again. I think people around here are really hungry for that.
Woody's is original. Woody's, there's no other place like Woody's restaurant. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in this area. I don't think I've seen it anywhere. And it's not just the restaurant, it's the people involved. This is a family.
We got together about 8 months ago, and we decided that, well, you know, we just wanted to play jazz, and we needed a place to do it. And so we went to Woody Danforth, and asked him if he wanted to do a jazz night on Tuesday night.
He was receptive to the idea right off. So we always had the gig before we had the band.
What I think really works about the jazz and Woody's is the passion of artists, the passion of a restaurant, the choreography involved in running a restaurant and combining that with entertainment. The scenario works because everybody is into it. I'm into it, the jazz band is into it, the customers are into it, and the restaurant has a chance to express itself, the band has a chance to express themselves, and we have a lot of fun at the same time.
You know, if we weren't playing there, I don't think there's any other place in Middlebury where we could really do it.
I first met Michael when I was a junior in college, which would probably be about 1985. We began working on a band that fall, and by that spring we were playing our first gigs together. At that point, Billy had joined up with us, and that was the initial version of Sundog, if you will. And from there, we played together for several years. We developed quite a rapport based on just repetition of playing together.
Starts on the D flat 7. That's for the solos. That's just that. I'd never played with Ray, a few times in some casual things, but he came to mind, so we brought Ray on board. And in the back of my mind was knowing that the sound really wanted to be at least 5. Eventually it might be 10, but for now, 5 would be a good changeover, and it was pretty unanimous and easy decision in the fall that Bill was the one we wanted to bring on board.
I've known these guys a while from performing in the dance department with improvisational music, and as sort of the newest member of the band, it's taken me a little while to feel entirely comfortable with it, but now I'm getting to the point where I'm more willing to make strong statements in the group.
Given the diverse backgrounds from which everyone's coming, I think it would be impossible for us to ignore some of those influences. I've heard someone describe it as jazz with a certain garage band quality to it, which I kind of like.
Well, the kind of music we're doing entails absolute honest communication. Sincerity is where it's at. There's no competition, I guess you could put it. It's more, you want to play as best as you can, but everyone is accepted for what they can do. And, if you want to put in the extra effort to work out an arrangement for a song, or, lead the band through a song, and let's do it this way, then it's anyone can do that if they just take the time.
At the point that I left college and sort of entered into the community, I was welcomed by a diverse group of people, and that was a very warming feeling. There really is a family feeling in the community here, and it spreads across all age groups and generations. I think it's a product of a small town way of life, that when you're in constant contact with people, you don't think of them as demographic groups, but everyone is kind of the same family, and so everyone looks out for each other.
I think, any band, needs an audience. You need that interplay between the audience and the band to really, you play better because of them. They feel good because of you if you have energy, so it works together, to make the whole thing cohesive.
The other night we were playing up in Burlington, and, there was about 50 people there when we started. When we finished, there were maybe 10 people. But by that time, we were playing together as a band. Really, it was tight, and we were listening, and we were trying new things, and everyone was listening to each other. And the people that were left, there were only 10 people left or so, but they caught on to what was going on in the communication with the band. And that was when the music was the best.
lot of people at Woody's come up to me and say, you know, I really like your band. I didn't think I liked jazz, but I like what you guys play a lot. You know? And I think that's part of what they're hearing, part of what's getting communicated, is the community of the band.
When the people forget themselves as much as the musicians, I think, and listen to the music, and they aren't concerned with where they are sitting in this bar.
To be able to play every week at Woody's really makes it attractive for all the musicians. Not only in the sense that, you know, you're going to play every week, you're going to perform, you're going to get paid, but playing live is really what shapes any band.
You know, it's sort of like a football game when the crowd's cheering for the home team, you know.
I call myself a hired man, I guess you could put it, but a milker. It's funny, you know, in Vermont, you look in the want ads and you don't see a temporary position for a secretary. You see milker wanted. They're all very interested. They don't see Bostonians every day.
As far as economics goes, there's not really any economics in playing music, unless you're you know, a pretty big name and you're playing all the time. The thing that gets me the most is that, you know, I mean, having to work 2 jobs plus, you know, playing music. I mean, I don't really mind it. It's just that, I mean, there's other people that have, you know, occupations, plumbers and lawyers and such, and they don't have to work 3 jobs to support their 1 job.
For anyone working in music, I think especially in Vermont, you have to create a mosaic. You have to have your hand in a number of things. I think the band is going to become more lucrative. At the same time, I think for each of us, it'll be important to keep other outside projects going. For example, myself, I play, you know, I work here in the dance building. I play in this band. I freelance with 2 other bands, give some lessons, and on like that. You can support yourself as a musician in Vermont. It just takes extending your creative mind to every aspect of what you're doing, not just the song at hand.
I have other priorities, things that I want to accomplish in life. You know, I want to be able to raise a family. I want to be able to take care of them, and I realize that there are financial realities to that. So I would like to look to the future with an eye towards that. You know, I realize that at some point it's going to be necessary for me to support those things. I would like to think that music can do it, and right now I am looking to the future with an eye that music will be the way to do it. But it may not.
I bartend at Woody's because I need to make money. I've bartended everywhere for years, but it's always just a costume I climb into and a thing I do to support the fact that I live here. Doing sound engineering and live mixing and stuff like that is what I really do, but you never make any money at that. And so I bartend to survive.
I feel that there are certain members of the band here which have an investment that they made in the area in terms of building a life here. And so I don't think anyone is fully eager to pull up those roots and try to move on elsewhere. I don't think that rules out the possibility of establishing something in places as far away as New York and Boston.
But what I'd like to see for the band is to continue playing in Middlebury, throughout Vermont, and hopefully in clubs along the East Coast, because it'd be great to get respect for music and better equipment to work with, better places to play. It's kind of a drag to be playing in clubs and bars all the time when the music performed is really serious enough to be played in any concert hall.
We heard Bell Recipe and Esperanto together, okay? With
At the same time?
yeah, at the same time.
Wow.
With
You take Bell Recipe.
I'm so funny.
let's just nix the trumpet solo at the beginning
So weird.
and do and we'll
The
do
most
10
important
Bell
thing is to be able to play, is to be able to put across what it is you're doing. And somewhere farther down the list comes any kind of success or rewards from that.
I worship music as God. I think music is the only thing I can think of that truly comes from nothing. It's like, you know, the fact that people can pick up instruments and pull sounds that you've never heard, that don't exist anywhere, that just come from space, and organize them into musical thought and communicate with them is incredibly effective, because you can get so much more across than you possibly ever could with words just by doing sound.